Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to gaming with me, Tony Mo. It is Saturday, that of course it means it's time for another vlog. Sadly guys, it's still freezing out. We're actually supposed to have snow this weekend. It actually snowed a little bit last night. It's been cold all week except for maybe 1 or 2 days. It's been sucky. Spring is sure taking its time to get here, and winter just simply doesn't want to leave. This always seems to happen here on the East Coast, especially, at least I feel where I live, when we have a really weak winter. We didn't have a very strong winter. It was actually upsetting, because I appreciate winter. I like the snow. None of it doesn't really bother me. I don't mind doing some shoveling. I like having the snow. My dogs love having the snow. And just in general, that's why I continue to live on the East Coast. I always tell people, if I hated the snow as much as some people do, I simply would have moved a long time ago. I would have just left. I can get a job working the amount of money making my day job just about anywhere, so it's not a huge deal. I would have up and left. I do appreciate it, and it sucks when we have lame winters. We had a pretty lame winter, and we're paying for it now with a very long, drawn-out transition into spring. Chances are we're just going to go right to summer, because that's just how it works here in New York sometimes. Now, I wanted to wait another week until I did the Q&A, or the AMA as I should have called it. Somebody mentioned, is this basically an AMA? I was like, that actually makes way more sense. I should have said that in the first place. So in case you guys weren't aware, if you didn't catch last week's vlog because it didn't seem like it got a lot of exposure, I'm going to be doing an AMA to celebrate 10K. It's really a great way for you guys to ask me those questions. Again, it is an AMA, so it can be gaming related, life related, music related. Doesn't really matter. And I'll try and answer to the best of my abilities, or at least to the ability that I feel most comfortable with. Throw those questions right down in the comment section below. This time, I'm actually going to go ahead and start I'll make a message myself that you guys can respond to, so they're all just under one thread. And of course, those of you guys who posted something last week, don't worry, I already have your questions recorded and written down in my OneNote application, so we're all set there. But if you had anything else you felt like adding, feel free. I'm really looking to make this as long as I possibly can. If it ends up being a half an hour, it's just going to be something that's going to be fun and a little bit more casual. But there's quite a bit of other stuff that I wanted to talk about this weekend. It's very nice to actually have a Saturday off this week, and I usually don't have Saturdays off. I usually have to work, so I'm doing these before work. It's nice to be able to just relax. I played some Division this morning. I did some solo roaming in the Dark Zone, which you guys are seeing right here, even though I was definitely half awake, and just kind of enjoyed myself. But today I'm actually waiting. UPS is going to be dropping off some lighting stuff I bought for getting a proper lighting setup here at my desk, so I can, possibly have like face cam for streams and then also record vlogs in the first person, just because I feel like it's nice to take a break from the gameplay. And I do feel that I like the idea of a little bit more of a personal relationship when I do my YouTube videos every now and then. I think it helps. I personally appreciate that, seeing people, especially someone who I really enjoy. I've recently kind of fallen in love with Jesse Cox. He's someone who's really fun to watch. He's just naturally funny. He doesn't really have to go out of his way to induce a lot of humor, and I just enjoy him. I enjoy his approach to just playing games for fun. I think that's something that I can really genuinely respect. There's few YouTubers that take things to the level he does in terms of just playing the games he likes and just having fun while he's doing it. I myself, I play the games I like, but I do throw in a bit of critique here and there. It's nice to kind of switch over to somebody who's more of a just pure, he's a Let's Player, so, that's what he does. But really been enjoying his Overwatch content specifically, and of course that has a lot to do with my addiction to Overwatch, and I cannot wait for that game to come out. It's something I'm really looking forward to. But I got a nice little set of umbrella lights. I got a new stand. I'm actually going to be trying to record with my iPhone. I kind of forgot. I'm like sitting here considering buying a new webcam, and then I remember that I have like a brand new iPhone 6S, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually a really good camera on this thing. And with some decent lighting and a decent camera app, I can really mess around with some fun stuff, maybe even record a couple of videos in 4K just for kicks, just to give it a go. So look forward to that in the future, guys. Possibly next week we may do the 10K AMA with that rather than just gameplay in the background. I might actually just have my face answer your questions. It'll be all glorious and wonderful. Now, I did want to note, because there were quite a few of you guys who were actually coming on over and watching me stream. You may have noticed that I haven't been streaming, and I apologize. It's something I should have, made note of earlier to you, that the stream would be going on break. There's just so much to do with the Division right now, and considering the fact that I still work a full-time day job, streaming just is out of the question. I'm already crunching to try and get out the ridiculous amount of content that I have in my head. There's so much stuff that I want to do for the Division. So many video ideas and series. You know, I've got a whole slew of location spotlights planned that I just haven't been able to put together. That, you know, they require a lot of time just to gather the footage and then do the editing, you know, do the research for the location, if it's real world or not. And the same thing goes for weapon reviews and those builds. Like, they're time consuming just because of the amount of footage I have to gather. I don't mind that, you know, it's just there's no way I can feel comfortable sitting down and streaming on a Wednesday night for 3 hours after work, you know, or if I have the day off, when I know that I need to be capturing footage for a review of a weapon and so on and so forth. And considering the fact that we're seeing the launch of Update 1.1 this Tuesday, hopefully those things will become easier. You know, obtaining new weapons and gear for the builds will become a little bit easier. I'll be able to do it at least at a more efficient level because of the loot drops. But that just means there's going to be even more content to talk about. And then I've definitely kind of went and stabbed myself in the back with those Dark Zone interviews. Because not only did you guys really like that, but I really love that. It was a hell of a lot of fun. I actually recorded 2 other interviews, but they just weren't really of the same quality. You know, it's completely random. I mean, you're going up to somebody in the Dark Zone on a whim and hoping that they have the patience to stand still and talk to you. There's a couple of the people that I was talking to who were like running around the area that we were in. They were super antsy. They're like, I just want to go kill things. And I'm like, all right, you know, this isn't going to work out here. A couple people trying to make me go rogue. I interviewed the one group, and the guy kept shooting me in the side with a pistol, you know, trying to see if he could, like, get me to, like, turn around and shoot him in the face. They were probably really suspicious. And actually, at the end of the interview, the one guy asked me, you know, if I was going to, like, kill them now. He's like, because this is a really twisted way of getting our trust. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm trying to do at all. But definitely a lot of ideas. You know, some more traditional, I think, reporter in the war zone type things would be fun. Rushing in to find a group of guys who just fought some rogues or something like that. I think it's going to be something that's going to be even more interesting to do once the supply drops go live, because there's going to be a lot more chaos in the DZ. So then the idea of trying to run around with a white flag and interview people who are maybe looking to kill you. One of the big things I really wanted to do, I was trying to do it Friday before work, or right when I made that video, was trying to actually interview a rogue as someone who's a non-rogue. The idea of being able to halt a rogue agent, you know, in the middle of their manhunt and be like, hey, dude, can I just grab a quick word from you? Even if I run next to him and he's like shouting at me, you know, that would be a lot of fun. So that's something I want to do, and I really like the idea of that series, but again, it adds another slew of things to the massive amount of series that I've now acquired. I think that's the problem, you know, you come up with good ideas, people like those good ideas, and of course they want more, and deep down inside, I want to make more just as well. But I definitely have started prioritizing which series, you know, I want to work on before others. Like the location spotlights, they're a lot of fun, but they've definitely taken more of a backseat to like weapon reviews and to the you know, agent builds, just because I feel like those are things that more directly help players and new players. And there's a lot of you guys who want to see more tips and guides, and I think there's a lot to be said regarding the incursion, you know, and even challenge mode. But I have to admit, I'm not really the best person right now to tell you about incursions. You know, I could lie and pretend that I know all the things we need to do for incursions. And a lot of people making videos already, you know, how to get prepared. And you could definitely speculate on how to be prepared. And I think I'm going to do something small. Should just kind of talk about general theory crafting around how you should prepare your squad for the incursions. I'll probably launch something like that on Monday, because I know not everyone's going to be doing the incursions right away. So there'll be a little bit of thought process going into that, but I won't do anything extremely detailed and like on point until I actually get to experience the incursions and I kind of know what the requirements are. And then I think I will throw up some tips and guides. A few of you guys too asking, like I said, about challenge mode guys and stuff like that. Yeah, you know, it's something I would like to do. It's just been, I haven't been running a lot of challenge mode. I've actually been playing a lot of the Division alone right now. It's one of those things where, you know, it's like, you definitely need a group of people consistently playing, and the other people in my life are as busy as I am. My brother in particular, you know, is just like me, an entrepreneur trying to run his own business, so he's equally busy. I got friends who are just as busy doing their things, so it's like, it's hard for us to get together on a regular basis, and again, it's all about that footage. Like, those are one of those things where you genuinely need footage. You can't just, like, tell people, like, in a vlog, like, hey, this is how you prepare for challenge mode. I mean, you could, and most of you wouldn't care, you know, you definitely appreciate the commentary and the discussion, but I think having some visual representation of, you know, teamwork and things of that nature definitely helps support the opinion and just makes for a better video overall. I've learned not to really rush with stuff. You know, when I come up with something that I really enjoy and that the people watching you guys really enjoy, it's hard to not want to just do more of it right away, but then you're like, you know, you got to learn to pace yourself. And that's something I didn't do early on when I started doing YouTube, is I would just pump out, like, you know, as many as the videos as I could make. They were still good quality, you know, there's no doubt about that, but people would get tired of it. It's like anything, you know. Some things are more enjoyable in doses than in large portions. You know, in small doses than in large doses, I guess would be the best way to put that. But I will say, you know, there's something I actually read not too long ago. It's just a couple weeks ago. Let me actually see if I can... Hold on a second. We're gonna be ultra casual and unprofessional here, because I have a picture of the quote on my phone. I'm gonna read it to you guys, because I totally agree with this 100%. My brother and I both feel the exact same way. Now, I'm not saying you have to share everything with everyone, you know, but people on YouTube always talk about quantity over quality. The thing is, why can't you have both? And so this is from J.R. Rim. Most original output during periods in which they produce the most volume. It's widely assumed that there is a trade-off between quantity and quality. If you want to do better work, you have to do less of it. But it's not true. When it comes to idea generation, quantity paves the path to quality. Individual creators are better off over a lifetime of ideas. When we judge their greatness, we focus not on their averages, but on their peaks. To produce anything worthwhile, you have to be proactive and generate it. Most people sleepwalk through life, never asking themselves what they're doing, why, or if it really matters. There's a little bit more to the quote as a whole, but you get the basic idea. And I totally agree with this. And when people ask me, like, you know, I want to get into YouTube, what do? I just say, just start making videos. It's seriously the best thing you can do for yourself, is just start making videos. The more you do it, the more you're going to self-learn, the more confident you're going to become with the situation, and the more you're going to start to be able to see your flaws, and you're going to be able to improve, and then consider analyzing other people's work and learning from what they do and picking up the small things that other successful people have already done. You know, when they talk about success from a motivational perspective, one of the big things that a lot of people like to talk about is look at successful people and do what they do. Eat what they eat, you know, interact with the type of people they interact with, and, you know, in a lot of ways, you know, emulate the way that they have reached their success. Because there are just things you will learn from that. It's not about actually, you know, copying that person word for word, but it is about getting in that equal mindset, and sometimes you have to become someone to a small degree to help you with that mindset. But, you know, I very much respect the idea of, you know, if you continuously make something that is also of high quality and you can do it very often, then you're going to become very efficient. Like, I never tell you guys, you know, how long it takes me to make a video or something like that, but when I see a lot of other people that I talk to, or I see how long it takes someone else to make a video, and we're not talking, you know, about something that obviously required a lot of editing and things of that nature, but even then so, I've become very efficient in terms of doing that. I can make edits, I can Photoshop up a whole entire layout. Like, for example, the stuff I did for those agent builds, the new layout that I made for that, that was maybe 2 hours of work, if that. You know, it was just, I mean, the hard part was just really cropping and cleaning up and doing all the marquee tool work to extract the little icons off of the division pages to make them as clean as they possibly could. But other than that, you know, it's like you do things like that. If you do things very often, you do them frequently, and you manage to make an equal level between quantity and quality, then you become extremely efficient, and some of your best ideas come from that. And that's where you really start to hit home, I feel. So definitely both. You know, I go for both as often as I can. There are times when you need to slow down, when a video would be better, you know, done over multiple days, simply because you run out of the time to do a lot of the small nuances you want to make to improve it. But for me, my commentary is always in one take, so it's never really anything to do with the commentary. Most often, when something becomes dragged out over multiple days for me, it's based on needing a lot of research to make sure that I do everything accurately, or needing to do an extreme amount of editing, or creating fresh materials, fresh, you know, Photoshop images and Photoshop work, you know, frames and things of that nature to make the edits that I want to make. So anyways, just a small thought there, completely rambling off topic. I wanted to talk about a couple other things. One thing technology related, and then briefly talk a little bit about my plans for Dark Souls 3, is that will also be happening this upcoming Tuesday. So, you know, I'm sitting on the verge of upgrading my GPU. Right now I'm running an R9 280X 3GB. It's got DDR5. It's actually a really good GPU, but it's an AMD card. No game is really optimized for AMD anymore, so there are a lot of games on PC that just simply don't run as well because I have an AMD card. There's some games that run amazingly and they don't even care, and I get insane frame rates, but for the most part I recognize the need for a GeForce. It's simply put, NVIDIA is the frontliner right now. They just are, you know. So I'm looking at 980 Ti's, I've been looking at the Strix edition from Asus for how long, just kind of, waiting to make the purchase. But as it happens every single summer, there's breaking news that, oh, NVIDIA is going to be coming out with a new card, possibly with a new chipset in it, based on this new crazy technology. Graphics card companies have been developing and working on their stuff in the same way that Apple works on the frickin' iPhone, and I can't stand it. John Carmack's actually voiced his thoughts on this as well. How we focus too often on... There's like this constant progression in the GPU industry. He's like, but it's done in a way in which it simply allows them to make money. It's not actually progressive. They're just constantly like switching technology, and no one's ever optimizing or really, cleaning up a piece of technology to make sure that it improves, but it's also affordable. So we just end up with these cards that end up just increasing in price every single year, and then the card before it drops a little bit in price, and the performance games are always so menial. And then often the technology ends up being completely wasted, and we change the technology in our GPUs the next year, and we end up using something completely different, which is very much the case this time around. We saw brand new technology in the new cards, and now they're already talking about switching technology. I don't know, man. I guess I'm just sick of the way that part of the computer industry goes. And it's definitely a turnoff for someone looking to build a new PC. I know that because there are people in Praxis who sat there for, months, a year, some of them, waiting for new GPUs because they heard that next year there could be a new GPU, and you feel, when you're about to spend a substantial amount of money on a PC, you do feel like it's like, why would I spend this much now when I can A, either save money on this card because it'll be cheaper, or B, get something better the following year for a few $100s more. It's a nightmare. I can't stand it. I genuinely can't. I'm probably just going to buy a 980 Ti Strix and call it a freaking day because I'm just fed up with it. And there's no doubt that that card will perform well enough for me moving into the future. There are a few games looking to really just, be stupidly graphically intensive for no reason whatsoever. Star Citizen, for example, is definitely at that point, and it's the reason I don't play it. It doesn't run at all in my computer, which I find hilarious because, as far as I remember, they're supported by AMD. They had an AMD spaceship at one point. Anyways, that's a discussion for a completely different time. Dark Souls 3, right? I can't wait for it. I know a lot of you guys can't wait for it. Very excited for it. I'm definitely going to be doing some coverage of it, as I said, and a lot of you guys actually inspired me to maybe consider doing a little bit more coverage of it. I think some possible storytelling episodes, just kind of breaking down and recapping on a certain boss fight or a certain area of the map, just looking at it from a really emotional perspective, rather than going in and heavily critiquing or trying to make really, deep discussion about combat, because I don't really, I'm just not the person for that. But one of you guys, several of you actually pointed out to me, the idea that Dark Souls is some of the value that comes from playing Souls games and talking about Souls games with other Souls fans is, the sharing of stories. So I think that'd be something that would be fun to do, to talk about different elements in the game. They may or may not be spoiler free. That's something I'll probably have to consider when I do them, because I know some of you guys don't want to go near anything, even boss fights. You want all of that to be a surprise. But I think, the first week, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play Souls probably Tuesday night after I'm done with the Division. I'll probably stay up ridiculously late to play it. And, get some of my just initial impressions, talk about my character, maybe show you guys the character that I've decided to go with from the get-go, and just talk about initial thoughts on the game and everything as it stands. That's it, though, guys. That was quite the vlog. I don't know when warm weather is going to get here. If you guys want to go outside and perform like a seance, pray to the weather gods for me, wherever you may live, maybe across the world, a large amount of you watching this vlog and praying will bring warm weather to the East Coast. But we just don't have it yet. At least not way in the Northeast. It's really bad up here. So, hopefully. I actually really considered today, I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just go out, I'll do a motovlog, and I'll freeze to death, and it'll be fun, and we can all laugh about it. But as it turned out, it's raining. And there's probably ice on the road, so I'm gonna keep both of my legs and the rest of my body, and say happy Sunday, or happy Saturday to you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, play some great games, whatever you're playing out there, maybe, let me know. I guess apart from the AMA stuff, if you feel like throwing any games that you plan on playing this weekend down below, maybe get some other ideas flowing for some other people looking as to what they should play this weekend, go right ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.